Good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on MITV. I am Tomisi Adebukola, and here are top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari is to attend the Gulf of Guinea meeting in Ghana on Tuesday. And the President-elect Tinubu returns to Nigeria from Europe. Still looking at other stories now from the foreign scene. UK troops fly to Sudan to assess the evacuation options. And in sports, Tottenham sack interim manager after less than a month of a poor performance. And now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari will on Tuesday depart Abuja for Accra, Ghana to attend the third extraordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the Gulf of Guinea Commission convened by President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana. A statement by his spokesperson, Femi Adesina, on Monday says it's sixth foreign trip in 2023. The president will participate and deliver remarks at a high-level discussion on strategies for strengthening peace and security and the fight against maritime-related crimes in the region. The statement titled Maritime Security, President Muhammadu Buhari to attend Gulf of Guinea Heads of State and Government in Ghana. As the immediate past chair of the Assembly, Buhari had championed collective efforts by member states of the region, the Economic Community of Central African States, the Economic Community of West African States, the Gulf of Guinea Commission and their partners to address and prevent piracy. Buhari will be accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mungono, retired, the Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ahmed Abubakar, among other government officials. And Nigeria's President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu returns to the West African country 1 month after being away in Europe. The aircraft to convey the former Lagos governor touched down at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja at 4:30 p.m. The president-elect Bola Tinubu arrived at the Abuja airport today, Monday, the 24th of April. The All Progressive Congress stalwart, who was officially out of Nigeria since March 22, returned about 1 month before his inauguration on the 29th of May 2023. He returned with his wife, Senator Oluremi, and they were received by the Vice President-elect Senator Kashim Shettima, the Plateau State Governor, Governor Simon Lalong, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, among other high-ranking members of the party. The president-elect was received by a cheery crowd of supporters decked up in party paraphernalia. He headed to his vehicle after a brief stop to address the cheers of his supporters. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the February 25 election and former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, on Monday in Awka said he had no reason to take a rest after the 2023 presidential campaign and the election that followed, arguing those who had to rest had their reason for doing so. Addressing reporters after visiting the Muslim community in Awka Central Mosque to celebrate the Eid-El-Fitri with them, Obi said the kind of problems faced in Nigeria did not warrant our leaders' rest, as there are many issues requiring consistent attention. He said, and I quote, "People who want to rest are to do so, adding it needs to be visiting schools, hospitals and interacting with people, but made it clear no serious leader will go and rest." According to him, it is not only when one is seeking political office that he should visit people. He said no matter what people do in politics, Nigerians must also remain one. The Plateau State Police Command has warned those planning to break into the sealed State House of Assembly to have a rethink and rescind their plan, as police are aware and have enhanced security around the Assembly complex to prevent such. The police say credible intelligence has revealed an attempt to cause a breakdown of law and order through the plan to break into the Assembly complex hence the need to sound the note of warning. In a statement by the police public relations officer, DSP Alfred Alabo, credible intelligence from reliable sources revealed some enemies of the state who do not want peace to remain permanent in the state are planning to forcefully invade the Plateau State House of Assembly complex to cause damages to lives and property. You will recall the police had sealed the assembly 2 weeks ago as there was a tussle over who the Speaker of the House is. When the matter started in 2021, security agents sealed the complex at that time, but some political thugs broke into the premises and destroyed valuables in the chamber and offices, forcing lawmakers to relocate to the old government house for sitting. And now to other news. The first family of Lagos State on Monday celebrated the Eid-El-Fitri 2023 in the midst of pomp and pageantry to conclude celebration for the end of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The celebration took place at the governor's house at Lausa, Ikeja, the state capital. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his deputy, Dr. Kadiri Obafemi Hamzat, celebrated the Eid-El-Fitri for the year 2023 with people of high personalities, Muslim clerics, chairman of Christian Associations of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter. The presence of Christian leaders at the Eid-El-Fitri celebration was to emphasize the urgent need for unity in Lagos. In his speech, the governor prayed for all who came to celebrate with them, promising to do better in his second term.
This celebration has been sustained by the Lagos State government as a platform to host Islamic clerics, religious leaders, dignitaries, and members of the general public in line with the policy of inclusive governance and appreciation of the role of religious leaders in the development of our dear state, Lagos. Indeed, after difficulty comes ease, as exemplified by the theme of this year's celebration. After 29 days of self-denial and personal discipline in total submission to Almighty Allah's commandments, we are gathered here to express our gratitude to God for the strength and good health to witness the end of another Ramadan. Ramadan, as we know, is a spiritual exercise that teaches the virtues of love, virtues of tolerance, the virtues of forgiveness.
We must thank God that we are alive today. And we thank Almighty Allah for preserving our lives to the extent that we can see a day like this after the Ramadan, and we are all gathered to celebrate it. It is worth celebrating. So we want to thank the first family for putting this together so that Lagosians can understand the essence of Ramadan. And the title of the lecture, even though it says after hardship there is ease, but we've been corrected that is actually with difficulty there is ease. So we must as a people also appreciate that our nation might be going through some difficult period, but with hard work, with prayer for the president-elect, the governor, inshallah, ease will come our way.
You are the first without any beginning. You are the last without any point of termination. You do whatever you like, but you never make any mistake. You are the Lord of all lords. You are the King of all kings. You are the leader of all leaders. You are the judge of all judges. You are committing the entire members of Lagos State Exco into your hand. May you continue to guide them. May you continue to be with them. The knowledge, the wisdom, the wherewithal that they need to steer the ship of this government. May Allah provide them with it.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's a thing of joy and pride that God Almighty has also given this government another opportunity to thank Almighty Allah after a very, very eventful and very serious Ramadan season. We're out and we're here to celebrate for taking everyone through that period and from coming out better, stronger, and mightier. We want to thank Almighty Allah for giving the states and all of the Muslim faithful worshippers the fortitude, the strength to be able to go through this very, very important assignment of our religious upbringing. I want to also thank all of our spiritual leaders who were working with us throughout the Ramadan season, for staying faith and for keeping faith with us, for ensuring that we did not fall short of any of our expected prayers, and everything went as expected. Importantly so, this Ramadan came immediately after our elections, both our presidential and governorship and House of Assembly election. And we thank God for sparing our lives, for making the election a peaceful one, and giving us our expected outcomes at the end of it. It is
still in the Eid-El-Fitri celebration, hundreds of fun seekers, particularly children, on Monday besieged the Indabusi Kano Park in Ikeja, Lagos. In continuation of the celebration, people of all ages were seen catching their fun with various games and eye-catching activities, while others were busy entertaining themselves with food and drinks. When our MyTV News crew visited the park, people of all ages could be seen catching fun, some entertaining themselves with all manners of games. Speaking with our correspondent, Fatoki Kunle, some fun seekers said there was every reason to thank God while expressing appreciation for the two-day holiday declared by the federal government. Some believe coming to the park was an opportunity to appreciate nature and the environment, which according to them is good for the soul.
Well, just for me to just have time to relax off the normal stress in Lagos. Living in Lagos is quite stressful, and these 2 days have given us opportunity for us to rest. Friday and today Monday for us to rest. Then most importantly, spend time with the family. Considering that the children also will go back to school tomorrow. Schools will be resuming tomorrow, and so opportunity for us to rest and to spend time with the family.
It's really nice. I'm happy having a nice time with my family. We're here together trying to make my children experience the social life that they need. I'm happy. But the environment is a nice place. It's cool. It's a lovely place to be with your family. Indeed, I love the place. It's a nice place.
It's fun. I like it. The place is so calm, and where you bring your family, they just have to. As you can see, children are out family. It's cool.
Okay.
I'm having fun with my family. The environment is very okay. It's actually okay. There is shared, assuming that there is sun now, the sun will not be that much because of the trees. There is shared. And the children are having fun, they are enjoying themselves. So I like the place. It's really
I'm catching my phone so well. I like it. I like my phone. I like your hair. Your head. The park is very fun. I came here last time, but it was not more fun than this. But as far as I'm happy that my family came, saw Easter, everything. I'm happy. Thank you.
Stand up now.
Quite an activity. Now, in a related development, residents of Ibadan, your state capital, seeking to maximize the two-day holiday, thronged the state-owned Agodi Gardens to enjoy leisure time with family and friends. A visit to the facility by our correspondent showed families trooping in to have the best of time. Activities embarked upon include horse riding, table tennis, climbing, swimming, among others. A resident of Ibadan, Abolaji Ashadeji, while sharing her experience, said she brought her children to the facility to have fun and mix with other kids. She said a prolonged weekend afforded rest and a free space away from work to enjoy quality time with the family. For Oyedeji Sholayemi, more needs to be done by the Oyo State government to upgrade the facilities in the popular Agodi Gardens to meet the expectation of leisure seekers.
No, I just bring my kids to enjoy themselves with other kids, to have, to catch fun, swim, everything, enjoy themselves. It's very fine. We are happy. We just need to be happy. So we are happy. Seeing them is enjoyment. So we are very. This place is very okay. So we enjoy the place.
It's very good. It's very. We catch fun. But this is our first time in Agodi Garden. But the kind of fun we expected. Though we came for zoo initially, but when we get there, they said they have moved the zoo from there. But nevertheless, it is fun all through, but we expected more.
That's a time out. Now, with estimated 700,000 children out of school in Ogun State, the state government is seeking support from all and sundry to reduce the ugly trend. The Deputy Governor, Noimot Salako Oyedele, made the appeal at her office during the handover of a block of 4 classrooms constructed by a group in Abeokuta, the state capital. The project is built for the people of Igwedu community in Ogun Waterside local government area of the state. Salako Oyedele, who described the high rate of out-of-school children in the state as a disaster, said the government alone cannot do it in the educational sector. Hence, they need to seek more collaboration with the NGOs, organizations, and well-to-do Nigerians. We'll take a break now to take foreign stories. We'll be back shortly.
Mommy, it is time for us to leave this place.
One of your earrings is missing.
No one will find it.
I'm not willing to take that chance.
Have a big plan, Mommy.
What do you want?
I want a senior position at the bank.
If anything happens to me, go through the content of this envelope and check every single thing.
It's done. No one will ever find out the truth.
Welcome back. Now we'll bring you stories from the foreign scene. Now, updates from Sudan. A small British military team on Monday landed in Sudan to assess the potential evacuation options for its nationals after the UK evacuated diplomats and their families on Sunday, but an estimated 4,000 UK citizens remain in the country. The UK Minister, Andrew Michel, says officials are looking at every possibility to get British nationals out, while he urged the UK citizens in Sudan to stay indoors and warned if they leave their homes to do so at their own risk. Fighting between Sudanese army and the RSF paramilitary force has left 420 people dead since it began on the 15th of April.
Since the start of fighting on 15 April, hundreds of people have been killed and thousands injured. The violence must stop. It risks a catastrophic conflagration within Sudan that could engulf the whole region and beyond.
Now, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, which you just watched, told a meeting chaired by Russia Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov that a war in Ukraine is causing massive suffering and devastation to the country and its people, fueling a global economic dislocation. Lavrov chaired the meeting on
Since the start of fighting on 15 April, hundreds of people have been killed and thousands injured. The violence must stop. It risks a catastrophic conflagration within Sudan that could engulf.
I'm calling on you right now to release Paul Whelan, Evan Gershkovich immediately, to let Paul and Evan come home, and to cease this barbaric practice once and for all.
Australia has said the accusation of nuclear-powered submarines, long-range strike capabilities, and its northern bases will be among the country's 6 priority areas after a major review of its defense strategy found the armed forces were not fully fit for purpose. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese initiated a defense strategy review shortly after he was elected in May last year. A redacted version of the classified defense strategic review led by former Australian Defence Forces Chief Angus Houston and former Defence Minister Stephen Smith, and the government's response was released publicly on Monday.
We confront the most challenging strategic circumstances since the Second World War, both in our region and indeed around the world. That's why we're investing in our capabilities and we're investing in our relationships to build a more secure Australia and a more stable and prosperous region.
And the defence posture that we have had for the last few decades has served our nation well. But in the circumstances that we now face, that defence posture is no longer fit for purpose. And so today, for the first time in 35 years, we are recasting the mission of the Australian Defence Force.
And that's it from the foreign scene. We bring you sports stories next.
They are real. They are the drama queens of Abuja. If you're not real, you will be consumed, okay? Stop calling me mom joke. You at me. We have an intruder in the house. The meter of the disgrace is rising. You're old. Who said I need deliverance? Ha! Deliverance! It wasn't me. She got me on the wasn't it? Arafat pulled me aside for a chat. No. The Real Housewives of Abuja, only on Showmax.
To watch this and other Showmax originals, simply add Showmax to your DSTV subscription using the My DSTV app.
Welcome back. Now in sports stories, Christian Stellini has departed Tottenham after less than a month in charge, following Sunday's 6-1 humiliation by Newcastle at St James's Park. Tottenham have confirmed that Stellini and his coaching staff have departed the club in the wake of the team's devastating 6-1 hammering by Newcastle in the Premier League on Sunday. Stellini took over on an interim basis on the 26th of March after Antonio Conte was sacked, but has now followed his compatriot out the door. In a statement, sports chairman Daniel Levy also confirmed Ryan Mason, who has filled in as interim boss previously, will take charge of the team once again for the time being. And Manchester City manager Papadola has urged fans to turn up the volume in their top of the table clash with Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium on Wednesday as his side looked to take control of the Premier League title race. Arsenal have lost significant ground in recent weeks with 3 successive draws, leaving them 5 points clear of City, but having played 2 games more. Guardiola has previously criticized the club's supporters for failing to get behind the team, and after a 4-2 comeback victory over Tottenham Hotspur in January, Guardiola said fans had been silent for 45 minutes. While trouble-chasing City have been churning out the wins, just as they usually do at the business end of a season, Arsenal's young pretenders have been struck by vertigo. They could have been going to City with a double-digit point lead, but after surrendering 2-0 advantages to draw consecutively away games 2-2 at Liverpool and West Ham United, they were then held to a frenzied 3-3 draw by bottom club Southampton on Friday. And talking tennis, Carolina Pliskova has withdrawn from the Madrid Open due to a knee injury, but the former world #1 said she hopes to recover in time for next month's event in Rome ahead of the French Open. Pliskova, 15th in the world ranking, said on Twitter she suffered the injury during a quarter-final defeat by Iga Swiatek at the Stuttgart Open last week. The Italian Open runs from May the 9th to the 20th before Roland Garros. The second Grand Slam of the year begins on the 28th of May. Pliskova's best result at the clay court major came in 2017 when she reached the semi-finals. And finally, in athletics, Britain's 4-time Olympic champion Mo Farah said it will end his athletic career at the Great North Run in November. Farah finished 9th in his final marathon in London on Sunday, clocking 2 hours, 10 minutes and 28 seconds, 9 minutes behind winner Kelvin Kiptum. The 40-year-old will compete at the 10-kilometer Great Manchester Run on the 21st of May before the Great North Run Half Marathon on the 10th of September. Farah has won the Great North Run 6 times. And as we round off the news tonight, let's take a look at our top stories. We brought to you that President Muhammadu Buhari is to attend the Gulf of Guinea meeting in Ghana tomorrow, Tuesday. As Nigeria's president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu returns to Nigeria from Europe. And UK troops are to fly to Sudan to assess the evacuation process. And in sports, Tottenham sacked their interim manager after less than a month over poor performance. Thanks for joining us on tonight's news. I am Tomi Singh Adebo Kolado. Have a lovely night rest. Good night.